Hey guys, so this interview is with Susan Bell, who is a PT in Australia. She is also my cousin, and Susan has been through an unbelievable amount. And even though I had heard her story before, when I heard it again live, it just blows my mind and blows me away every time I hear it. The amount that she has been through and is still such an amazing and positive person, doesn't make any excuses, and is helping people with their health and fitness. It just blows my mind. This is not one you want to miss.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good.
Good. What's going on?
Much.
Are you nervous?
I just don't know how this is going to play out, and I know you very well, so that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know how
nervous.
to play out either, if that's any consolation.
No, that doesn't help. And not with your brother on here either. Hang on one
Uh,
sec.
we,
Yeah, keep going,
can,
keep talking.
we can block him if needs be.
Yeah, great. That'd be perfect. Block him from now.
Yeah. So what's up? Are you homeschooling the girls? Or are you just killing each other?
Yes. They're probably killing me. So they don't agree with my my homeschooling, and I'm not even bad, but they hate it. So yeah,
Do you homeschool them in the same way you would like a PT client?
you're correct. In any aspect of my life, I'm exactly the same.
Oh, okay. But instead of homeschooling, you probably just work on TikTok all day, right? We had to get that in somewhere.
No, we do find TikToks, but Siobhan is very embarrassed about TikTok. She's like, "Mom, don't do it," and I'm like, "You wanted me to do it at the start." She's like, "Do it now." I'm like, "Bitch." But yeah, so
Doesn't
she started TikTok, not me.
doesn't she do dance as well?
Yeah. Oh, she
Ah,
did. Yeah. So she stopped performing arts last year, but yeah, yeah.
cool. I must follow her on TikTok so I can keep up to date with her.
Are you on TikTok too?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know,
stop
right?
it.
They let old people on there.
I did not know you were on there though.
I
I knew your
am.
brother was, but not you. Just his
Well,
messages.
that squat video was from TikTok.
Ah,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, right. Had you already posted it on TikTok, or you just did it on TikTok?
I posted it. Well, you have to post it to save
Oh
it.
yeah, save it. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Lisa says it should be a priority for Siobhan to get back into performing arts.
Thank you, Lisa. She probably
She's
would if she was over there with you guys. She loved it.
Lisa's biased. She can't be trusted.
Yeah, true story.
Cool.
Can you ask her, hey Lisa, can you send me some fulfill bars, please?
Oh, shoot, I just had one. It was delicious. If that's any
Oh,
consolation.
oh, my favorite. Oh.
And I have a monster ready as well.
Oh yeah, I've had two today actually. Anyway, thank you. I was
um,
not addicted to those till I went over there.
are we
OG.
allowed to send stuff? I don't know what the deal is. Can we still send, like, could I send you
Oh,
fulfill bars? I don't know.
oh yeah, I don't know. They'll probably have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. Yeah, my
Maybe so.
jumper. I know. Oh, shattered about my jumper. I'll get that sent when this is all blown over. Could
I
have
bet
been there in a few weeks.
it's a black jumper, is it?
It's what?
It's a
No,
black
it's got
jumper, is
pink
it?
on it. Fuck, it's got pink on it. This isn't black
Okay.
though. No,
Ah, you're getting better.
I've had this before, Island.
Okay. Um, so I don't know what your messages were like last night, but once I put up that transformation picture, like everybody was in my DMs, like one or two saying that the first one wasn't you.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, which is why I said what I said on my post today. Yeah,
yeah, but then the one with your actual face in it, I think that was further along the line, was it? Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So people believe it.
When was that? They were both probably taken around the same time. That initial one with my face not in it was the actually. Remember when I spoke to you and I said to you, "I need to lose weight. Help me." And you said, "All I want you to do is not eat from a packet and eat real food and go and take a photo of yourself." And I was like, I walked into the room and I was like, I'm never gonna ever look at this fucking photo again. Didn't move. Oh, swearing. Sorry.
You
Didn't
can
move.
swear all the time.
I was trying to be good. I was trying to be good. Didn't think I'd ever look at it again. Didn't move kids stuff from the background, anything like that. And anyway, yes, I look at it all the time. So thank you for that. You did start this for me, and I'm very grateful.
You're welcome. It's all me. That's all I heard.
But
What
yeah,
was
so
going
no
on?
one, hey.
What was going on back then? What, like, was that just an accumulation of years of bad habits, do you think?
Yeah, so I was never small anyway, as you know, but I was never small. And I don't know, I definitely made bad food choices, but I also ate a lot. So when I ate well, I still ate a lot of food. And then going through IVF and stuff, I didn't change anything and put on weight with the drugs as well. And so that first time I went through IVF, we fell pregnant with Siobhan, and that was all successful, and that was great. But yeah, I put on a heap of weight. So I put on a heap of weight through that whole taking all the drugs process. There were heaps of stuff to take, which I don't know if we're going to get into later. But yeah, there was heaps of stuff I had to take. And I don't know, I think just to make myself feel better, I definitely emotional ate and comfort ate. And yeah, so then I went through the IVF subsequent times, obviously, had Isla, then fell ill 7 weeks after she was born. And no, not one single person believed I was sick. No one believed I was sick. So I comfort ate again. And that photo, I was well over 100 kilos. I was over 100 kilos. And yeah, it was the first day that I was like, fuck, you are about to split through your skin. Do something about it, for fuck's sake. And so, yeah, spoke to you, and that was it for me. I just did not eat from a packet for so long. And now, like, I'm anal with my food. I don't go over my calories. I stick to my macros. Like, no one's 100%, but I'm going to say I'm 98% with my food. Well, as you know, because you have seen me. But I am 98% with my food because no single part of me wants to go backwards. No part of me wants to put on weight. No part of me wants that life ever again. Like, no. So,
And do you take that strict of an approach with your clients as well, or are you a little bit more loose with them?
No, so I'm extremely strict with myself. I don't vary my food a lot, but I'm not like that with my clients because while that's how I am with me, if I knew back then what I know now, I wouldn't be as strict now. Like I know a lot more now than what I did then, but I'm in such a routine. And apart from right now where I'm doing nothing, but my normal life is really busy. So I don't really want to have to think about my food and change my food up. But recently I did, so I was eating like multiple of the same meals a day. So recently, actually when I came back from Ireland, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have 6 different meals a day or 5 different. Whatever I eat is going to be different all the time. Like in the day, I will eat different meals. And so I've stuck to that. So yeah, that's me
Cool.
changing it. But no, my clients, I am 150%. Well, I'm very open about what I'm like, and then very open with them about you can eat whatever you want. It just needs to fit. Yeah.
Cool. When I think back to like that advice of like just don't eat anything out of a packet, now it kind of makes me cringe. It worked for you at the time, like, but I didn't know what fucking calorie was back then. Like, so that was the best information I had at the time. But hey, it works. Whatever.
It worked for me. It worked for me. And because I jumped on the scales multiple times a day back then. Like, it was so good for me to not eat out of a packet. And I needed to not eat out of a packet to learn what was in food as well. To learn, like, it's not bad food, but back then it was bad food. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And so what happened when you first started? Did you just do that, not eat out of a packet, or did you take small steps, or was exercise involved as well? Or?
I couldn't do a lot of exercise because I just had brain surgery. So I had the brain surgery the end of June, and I contacted you about this, I think, the start of August, the start of September that year. Yeah, I probably had a little bit of recovery first and then contacted you. Anyway, so August, September of that year, and then I literally, because I'm very good at following rules, so I literally just went, okay, cool, nothing from a packet. And I did not eat anything from a packet. I had slowly introduced rice cakes. Still eat them. But
I think that's all you eat.
Okay.
I think that's all you eat now, or it's all you ate when you were here anyway. Rice cakes and chops.
Oh God, that and full bars, some chicken.
Yeah.
I also, but traveling though, I didn't want to get out of hand. Like, I didn't want to put on any weight, so I was like fucking anal. But yeah, I did. I literally was like, all right, sweet, that's what I have to do. Didn't eat anything out of a packet. Everything was fresh fruit, fresh veg, and meat. that was it.
Cool. So
Hey, Dan.
before the weight loss were the brain surgery. So like Lisa, if Mam is watching, just switch her off for this because we're going to talk about the brain surgery. So we don't want to
Oh,
repeat
God,
of what
no.
happened
Switch her
when
off.
Susan was
No.
here. So just talk about that. Like, how did that start? Was that after Isla and you said you were ill and no one believed you? That's when all that started to happen.
The brain surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Isla was 7 weeks old and I went and played basketball in my first game back, my second game back actually maybe, and after the game I was completely fine. Like this just happened like bang, but I was completely fine. No headaches, no sickness, no nothing. My kids woke once a night, so I wasn't even like struggling as like a parent getting up, or me and Anthony, parents getting up during the night. We didn't have any of that. I got home from, walked out of the basketball stadium. We were standing out the front talking, and my vision just went funny. And I was like, oh, fuck, in my head, because I didn't say it out loud. I was like, fuck, I can't actually see properly. Everything's blurry. And I had Isla with me. And anyway, so I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to go. See ya. Got in the car, drove home. I definitely shouldn't have driven, but at the time, I thought I was fine. I just thought, oh, this is weird, whatever. So I drove home. Anyway, I got home, took her out of the car, lay on the couch, felt even shitter. My head was pounding. And I don't get headaches prior to that. Never got headaches, never got a migraine, anything like that. And then I rang my mum, and she worked maybe 20 minutes from my house. And got there, she drives really slow. Got there, I reckon, in about 5 minutes. I rang her and said, I need you to come and like help me with Isla because I've got a massive headache. And Anthony was pouring concrete at the time, so we couldn't come home. And I was like, oh, it's no big deal, don't worry about it. Anyway, so she came, I handed her Isla, and I just closed my eyes. So I don't ever remember the whole time closing my eyes. I only remember waking up. So anyway, so I woke up, and then Anthony was home and Mum left and he had the kids and Siobhan was out of childcare. Anyway, and then I just thought, I just feel so shit. Anyway, so I went to bed and then got up the next day, still felt crap. Got up during the night a few times and like throughout the week. So this is a week ahead. Got up a few times, was completely disorientated in my own house, was knocking things over, had no idea like just where things were. It was actually really bizarre. Anyway, so we called a at-home doctor, and he said, oh, you've just got a virus, you'll be fine. I was like, yep, sweet, no worries, perfect. So left it. Anyway, a few weeks down the track, still sick, went to my GP. I was like, something weird. Like, I just feel weird. I've got a headache all the time. I feel shit. I just don't feel right. Feels like my eyes are bulging out of my head now. And she's like, oh, that's weird. And anyway, did some tests. They all came back fine. Looked in the back of my eyes, said, no, they're fine. I was like, yep, cool, sweet, no worries, went home. Anyway, so we're months down the track now, and I've seen 4 doctors who have all told me that I'm fine and I've just got a virus and I'm a new mum and blah, blah, blah. Everyone said the same thing. Either you're a new mum or you've just got a virus. You'll be fine. Just rest. And then, am I telling you this whole story yet? You just cut me off.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you keep going.
Because it's long. Everyone.
That's okay. No one will get bored. My biggest worry was that we only have 60 minutes on an Instagram live. I was like, we're definitely going to like run into trouble there.
Oh, okay. I'll talk.
But no, you keep going. Tell the whole story.
So that was March. So we're now I'll skip to May. So in all that time, everyone ignored me and it was shit. And I'd have to, when Anthony would get home from work, I'd literally hand Isla over, close my eyes, and that was it. And I only remember opening my eyes. I don't actually remember going to sleep ever. Even to this day, when I think back, I don't ever remember closing my eyes and going to sleep. I just woke up. And then, and even he'd get frustrated with it over time, which is fair enough because I was just shit. I had to take Siobhan to kinder, 3-year-old kinder she was in, and it was 5 doors, literally 5 doors up the road. And I'd walk to the end of my driveway and go, Siobhan, you can't go to kinder, take her back inside, and not be able to take her. My mum took 3 months off work to be there for me to help me with the kids because it just got worse and worse. Anyway, skip to May. May the 18th, I rock up at an emergency hospital near us here, which is a shithole. And I turned up there, told them I had a massive headache and how long it had been going on for, that my eyes felt like they were bulging out of my head, and I just wanted some tests done. And they said, yep, no worries, take a seat. Then they took me in to the emergency department, and a doctor eventually came to see me, and he goes, oh, I suppose you want an MRI. And I was like, oh, that'd be great, thanks. Or a CT scan. I was like, yeah, that'd be great, thanks. He goes, a little bit dramatic, don't you think? And I was like, oh, fuck, no, not really. So I was like, here we go again. I'm in an emergency ward and he's not taking me seriously. So that's awesome. And straight across from the cubicle I was in was the place where they check the back of your eyes. So they didn't take me in there, which infuriated me with the end result. Anyway, so he didn't give me a CT scan, didn't give me an MRI, nothing. He wasn't going to do anything. And I said, so you're telling me you're not going to do anything? And he's like, oh, he said to the nurse, oh, look, give her an FBE. And I was a nurse at the time. And anyway, and I was like, is that what you're going to do? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. So my mum took me to hospital so Anthony could stay with the kids, because we didn't really think it was a big deal then. And I said to Mum, fuck, take me home. Anyway, the doctor says to me, I said to him, oh, I'm leaving. And he goes, well, it's just a virus and we don't give antibiotics out for viruses. And I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware of that. And then he came over and he had a script as I was leaving. I said, well, I'm going to leave. So he came over with a script and I said, what's this for? And he said, oh, this is just so you don't get any sicker. And I was like, you just fucking told me I had a virus. Anyway, so I grabbed the script off him and I just ripped it up in front of him, threw it on the bed, fucking walked out. So I was pretty furious. Get home, 2 weeks down the track. I'm still sick. My mum's still looking after my kids. I'm still out of it. Still can't do anything. Getting worse. Going to the shops, park my car, walk into Coles, walk straight back out because I have no energy and my legs can't even move. And then I get home one particular day. Mum's like, can you just go back to your GP and demand a CT scan? So we're 3 months down the track. I'm like, yep, cool. Anyway, I go and say to her, I'm like, I'm really sorry to be a pain in the ass, but can you please get me a CT scan? And she said, look, I don't think you're going to get in for one today, so can you go to your local optometrist, just have the back of your eyes tested? Yep, sweet, no worries. Rang them on my way home, and they said, we've got an appointment in 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay. Rang Mum, said, can you have the kids for a little while longer? I'm going to go and have my eyes tested. Yep, sweet, no worries. Go to the place. He takes one look in my eyes. He doesn't know me from a bar of soap, doesn't know if swearing offends me or not. And he goes, oh, fuck. And I was like, well, this obviously isn't good. And he's like, you're bleeding into both your retinas. This is terrible. And I was like, oh, shit. And I just got all sweaty and clammy. And he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, I don't actually know. Like, I knew I was sick, but I don't know if I'm okay. Anyway, and he said, you need to go to emergency. It's either meningococcal or meningitis. And I said, oh, okay. And he took photos of the back of my eyes so I could see them. So the back of my eye was like a red paintball. You throw a red paintball at the wall, that's exactly what the back of my eye looked like. You couldn't see anything, no nerves, no optic nerve, no nothing. There was just red in the back of both of my eyes, and one of them had blood clots in it. Anyway, so he panicked, made me panic. He's like, I'm ringing hospitals, I'm ringing an emergency, and you are going straight there. And I just listed 5 hospitals around here that I would not go to. I'm like, I'm not going here, 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 and here, find somewhere else. Anyway, so we chose the Austin, and they saved my fucking life. So I went to the Austin. Have you got a swear jar somewhere?
No.
Okay, perfect.
We both
I went to this hospital, which was great in Melbourne, and they took me in straight away. And I had a CT scan, I had an X-ray, I saw a neurologist, I saw a doctor, I had a X-ray as well, all within 5, and bloods, 2 lots of bloods done, all within 5 hours. And I said to them, please don't send me home. I'm so sick. Please listen to me. Anyway, and the neurologist said, I won't send you home. Like, you are definitely sick. We're going to find out what's wrong with you. So I had a lumbar puncture then. They admitted me at 2 a.m. I had another lumbar puncture that morning. When I woke up at 6:30, I had 5 doctors at the end of my bed talking to me or about me. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? And they said, we've just been on a conference call. We're just trying to work out what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was shitting myself. And then they left and I stayed in the hospital, and I was like incredibly upset that no one believed me. I was like, I've been sick for so fucking long and not one person believed me, and now look how sick I am. And at that stage, we obviously didn't know I was going to be having brain surgery. So anyway, they admitted me. They did another lumbar puncture. Now, when they do your lumbar punctures, your levels need to be below 18. Below 20. Anything higher than 20 is for concern. So my very first one the night before was at 18. Then I had one the next day, which was at 22. So we're slowly increasing. I had them over the course of the week, and they just kept increasing, so I wasn't allowed to go home. So I was in hospital for nearly a week, and then it came to the Queen's birthday. We have a long weekend in the middle of June. Anyway, it came to that long weekend over here, and I begged to go home because Anthony would want to bring the kids in, and the kids would want to come in, or Siobhan, because I was baby, and I could not say goodbye. So I was really, it was hard for me to say goodbye because I didn't know if I would actually see them again. So that was really hard for me. Anyway, and I begged them on the Queen's birthday long weekend if I could go home, and he said you can once your symptoms don't change. So if anything changes, you need to come straight back in. I'm like, yep, cool, no worries. Anyway, so I go home, and I kept checking my eyes for my vision. So what ended up happening, my eyes feeling like they were bulging out of my head. So I had 3 blood clots in this eye and nothing in this eye. So this is currently my good eye. This eye, I didn't get all my vision back in, so I'm really blurry on my left-hand side. So when I'm tired or my head is shit, it's like this eye tends to kick in, and then it just makes me feel so shit. But anyway, so I have to get it treated all the time. Anyway, so they were the symptoms that just continued to get worse and worse and worse. They'd look in my eye every day. I ended up with 4 blood clots in this eye, which they dissolved over time, but took a long time. So anyway, I go home for Queen's birthday, and I kept checking my visual field and whatever, and it got worse on the Sunday. So I rang the hospital and I said, oh, hey, it's Susan Bell. I was in there all week. They said to me, if my symptoms change, get worse, I need to come back in. And he said, oh, it's a long weekend, which I felt really sorry for him, but it's a long weekend. Your neurologist is not going to come in and see you, so just, stay where you are. Anyway, and I said, are you sure? Because they were very clear that I needed to come back in. And he's like, no, you just stay home. Don't worry. Just go to your outpatient's appointment on Thursday. I'm like, okay, no worries. See ya. Get off the phone. I'm like, fuck, someone's about to be in so much trouble. Anyway, my girlfriend, we both had kids at around the same time. So we both got our kids looked after, and she drove me in because I wasn't allowed to drive. So no driving because I couldn't really see properly. And earlier on in the piece, I crashed my car twice into 2 poles and made up excuses to Anthony when I got home that someone had hit me. And when all this ended, I was like, and by the way, I hit the poles, and I don't know how I hit them, so I never told you the truth. Anyway, so I'm in hospital. I'm not in hospital, I'm at home. I go to my outpatient's appointment at the hospital on Thursday, and I get taken in finally, and she goes, oh my fucking God, why were you released from hospital? You're so sick. And I was like, are they a lot worse? She goes, they are so much worse. Took photos to compare them and showed me, and yeah, they were worse. I had an extra clot. So I went back. She's like, you're going straight back to emergency. I'm like, can I not sit in emergency for hours with all those dickheads? Please, just, can I not? Anyway, she's like, I'll see what I can do. So I was taken back to emergency, and my girlfriend just threw me out the side of a car like a movie, but it was funny at the time. Anyway, in I go, say my name, whatever, sit down. And then I get called, and they bring a wheelchair down. They're like, oh, Susan Bell. I'm like, oh, I don't need your wheelchair. I am so sweet to walk. And they're like, sit in the wheelchair. We're taking you upstairs already. And I was like, okay. Anyway, so I sat in the wheelchair, went upstairs to the ward, get into the room, and there is a whole thing set up for me to have another lumbar puncture. And I was like, oh, God. Anyway, so it's a lumbar puncture is a needle into your spine, and it's very uncomfortable. So this is my fourth lumbar puncture in a week. So my first lumbar puncture was 18, and a week later, my 4th lumbar puncture was 38. So I was not, things weren't looking great for me. But yeah, so anyway, so I rang Anthony and I said, I'm back in hospital and just come in the morning like everything's fine. Anyway, so he came back in the next day, but before he got in there, the surgeon came down to see me and the neurologist. So the neurologist comes in first and he's like, oh, hey, Susan. I'm like, hey. And he's like, so there's bad news. I'm like, what? He's like, you need emergency brain surgery and you need it today. I said, are you fucking joking? Where's this come from? He's like, we can't stop the bleeding. We can't stop anything. If you don't have this surgery, within 2 weeks, you will be blind, you will have a stroke, or you'll be dead. I was like, out of all those 3, I don't want to be here. And he's like, you need to have this surgery, Susan. Like, this is so important. Anyway, and So that was pretty full on. And he's like, why are you not upset? And I said, oh, I don't really know. I just want these headaches gone. Just make me better. Like, this has been going on for so fucking long. I just want to be better. Just make me better. I've got kids to look after and I want to be there for. Like, please make me better. Anyway, I said, I don't care what it takes. Like, whatever it takes is fine. So he left though. And then, I don't know, I think it sunk in and I was hysterical. I just bawled my eyes out. I think the realization that I was going to have brain surgery and that some complication could happen from this brain surgery became very, very real to me. And in those situations, having a nursing background, not ideal. So anyway, then the surgeons came down. They weren't quite so polite. They just kind of speak to the sign, like your name above your bed. And yeah, they're like, you have to have brain surgery today at 10:30. And I was like, fuck, I can't. Anyway, the neurologist came back down. He's like, you okay? I said, I'm just struggling with the fact that I have to have brain surgery in 3 hours' time because it was 7:30. And I said, can I please have it on Monday? And he said, I said, just give me the weekend. Please give me the weekend. And he said, it's really important, Susan. I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't even know what to say. I haven't seen my kids. Like, I need to see my kids before I go under the knife to have my fucking head cut open. Anyway, and he was great. And he's like, okay, I'll make a deal. You can have your brain surgery pushed back till Monday. And if it gets worse, I'll come in on the weekend and I'll make sure it gets done. And I was like, you're a lifesaver. He was amazing. Still to this day, he's amazing with me. And then, so I told everyone sort of over the weekend what was happening so no one found out on social media and whatever. And told my family and friends. Everyone was obviously great to me, like distraught, devastated, but yeah, really, really supportive, obviously. I couldn't see anyone. I couldn't let anyone come into hospital to see me because I couldn't say goodbye. My voice is going to go funny. So my kids came in on the Saturday and then they came in again on the Sunday and I had to say bye on the Sunday and it was, oh my God, it was heartbreaking. So they left and I was hysterical and I don't know, I obviously didn't know how this was going to play out. I actually didn't even know what surgery they were doing at that point. Anyway, so they came around on the Monday morning and my neurologist rang me the Saturday and Sunday to make sure I was okay. And then, yeah, they came around on Monday morning and I went under the knife for brain surgery. But I woke up from it. So I went in, I was really nervous and I woke up and my neurologist came and he goes, Susan? I said, yeah. And he's like, how do you feel? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. He goes, you'll hate your hair. And I'm like, oh, why? So they had it pinned in like ponytails and shit hanging all over the place. But
any like, photos of that, no?
Hey?
Any photos of that?
No, I don't. No, I should have, but I just ripped them all. I was like, this is fucking disgusting. What? So yeah, so the brain surgery was done and he said, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't have a headache. I don't have a fucking headache for the first time in months. I don't have a headache. And then, yeah, he's like, that's amazing. I'm so glad this has worked. And I'm so glad that you're talking to me right now. And I'm so glad you know the day, the time, everything. Anyway, so I went back up to the ward and the nurses were like, hey, Suze, because obviously I've been in there for so long. They're like, hey, Suze, how are you? I'm like, I don't have a fucking headache, guys. I was as high as a kite. I don't have a fucking headache. This is great. I feel so good. And then, yeah, so I stayed in there for maybe 2 days. I think 2 days post-op. Anyway, and I was up and about because I wouldn't pee in a bedpan. I was like, absolutely no chance, guys. I am not peeing in this. Unhook me and take me to the toilet. And then, yeah, so they were great about it. Thank God. But it took a bit of convincing, especially the nurses I didn't know. But I was like, no chance. I was a nurse and I'm not sitting on this thing when I know I can get up. Anyway, so yeah, 2 days later, I was home and recovering from my first lot of brain surgery. So they attached a shunt up here at the side of my head. This is going to go for longer than an hour. You'll have to cut me off.
Yeah.
Just be part one or something.
Yeah.
So they attached a shunt up here at the side of my head and a tube ran down the back of my head. An adjuster thing, a big square adjuster thing was in here behind my ear. And a tube ran through that, down the side of my neck, down the back of my sternum and into my stomach. So what the problem was too much pressure built up in my brain. So our bodies accumulate 20 mils of fluid, like daily, but our bodies, like every normal person, can get rid of it. Mine couldn't get rid of it, so it just accumulated over time. It got worse and worse and worse. We don't know why it happened, how it happened, or if it's going to come back. So they still see me all the time at the Austin, even now, 6 years down the track, because the only time it really affects me is when I train, but it affects me pretty badly. And I have to have my head treated every 3 weeks, maximum every 4 weeks, so that I can function normally. When I don't have it treated, I feel like I'm inside a cloud. So it's pretty gross. So when they did the initial surgery, about 6 months later, so I felt shit, but whatever, I was better. And then about 6 months later, I felt, so people with long hair will know, when you tie your hair up and you've got like a tight bit of hair that you just need to like pull on and it's fine. So I had that feeling on the inside of my head. So it was horrendous. And I just kept pulling at my skin and pushing at it and trying to like relieve it, and it just wouldn't relieve. And I had to go back to the Austin every month at that time. And I said to them, please, can you take this out? Like, is there anything that you can do? I've got this pulling sensation inside my head. And I swear my neurologist was like, oh my God, she's fucking crazy. But anyway, he was great. And he humoured me. And he said, well, we can't take the shunt out yet because that pressure will just come straight back. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I understand. I realise it's in there for the rest of my life at the moment. But I just need this, whatever it is, pulling sensation. It's the cord, but whatever the pulling sensation is, I need it to like stop. So anyway, this went on for 18 months. So that started at 6 months and went on for another 12 months after that. And it actually nearly sent me actually fucking crazy, because every single day I had this pulling sensation on the inside of my head I couldn't get at. And no matter what I did, I tried so many things to get rid of it. They tried to help me to like stop it or for us to work out what it was. Anyway, 18 months later, they agreed. They said, okay, we will take the shunt out. And I'm like, please take it out. And I will sign whatever I need to sign to say, if this has to go back in, I am all for it. Like, just chuck it back in. If it means it's saving my life, please put it back in. So, they agreed to have it taken out. They cancelled it a couple of times. And then finally in the January of 2014, I went under the knife again for more brain surgery. So they cut the back of my head in the same, so I've got a big horseshoe at the back of my head. So they cut the same part of my skull, took it off and took the shunt out. Now they thought it would be, well, it should have been an easy surgery, because I said to the nurse before I went in, I said, oh, so how long will this take? And she's like, oh, 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, sweet. This is great. So I had the surgery. And then I came out and went back to the ward, and Anthony's like, oh, I'm going to go home. I'm like, are you fucking joking? I've just got out of brain surgery and you're leaving. And he's like, it's 8:30 at night. And I went in at 2:30. And I was like, okay, yeah, sweet. See ya. Bye. Anyway, so then he left, and I was like, all right, someone come over here and tell me what happened. Why was this surgery more than 45 minutes? And they just said, oh, there was a complication. So where the shunt was attached, the shunt was attached up here. They unhooked it, and they tried to just pull it out from down here, and they couldn't get it. Like, it just wouldn't move. So then they had to do further surgery to get it out. So it was, just for ease of explanation, it was tangled in a part of my brain up here, which I can still feel where it was. So it was tangled in a part of my brain. And yeah, so they had to do some fair amount of surgery to take it out. So that was in 2014. And then I haven't had it put back in, but it does affect me a lot more now than the first surgery with my training. So I am just very, very lucky in the coaches that I have. They don't, like, I train with Chris all the time, train with Dakota, and they don't stop me from training. I mean, I'm not a dumb shit, so I don't want to pass out in the middle of the gym floor either. So, yeah, I just stop if I have to. But yes, I have to get it treated every 3 weeks, so I feel like I'm human. Otherwise, I feel like my eyes are funny. My vision's blurry. I feel like I'm inside a cloud and I look ridiculous, but I look the same. But yeah, that's my brain surgery story.
Wow.
Glad you asked.
Yeah, of course. Was there a part of you in the initial stages when they first said, when you went to the optometrist and they said, oh, there's actually something wrong with you? Was there a part of you that was like, I fucking told you, I knew it, I told you so, like?
Yeah, so he went and made all these phone calls to the hospital, and I sat outside and I rang Anthony, and I didn't realise that he was behind me, and I said to Anthony, I fucking knew I was sick. I fucking knew I was sick, and no one fucking believed me. Not one person believed me. And then I started getting upset, so I was like, I need to go. And so yeah, and I turned around to him and he was standing there and he's like, I can't believe this. And I'm like, it's been going on for so long. Like, thank you for fucking believing me. I've been to so many doctors. I come to fucking eye specialist and you tell me that I'm sick and you're the one sending me to hospital when I was in emergency in May. We're now a month down the track and now I have to go in. Like, yeah. So, yeah, I was relieved that a part of me was relieved that there was an answer. But yeah, I was like hysterical. When I got home to mum that day and I saw the kids, I just lost. I was hysterical, swearing my head off, but hysterically crying. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. I can't believe I'm being rushed to emergency. Because he said to me, the optometrist, he said, oh, I'm going to cancel all my patients and I'll take you to hospital. I'm like, oh, champ, I've been driving around with this shit for months now, so I'll be sweet. And he's like, you are so sick, Susan. Get yourself to emergency. Please go straight there. So, yeah, pretty cool.
It's like partly like happiness, like, oh, I told you so, but then at the same time, like, fuck, there's actually something wrong. Like, mixed emotions.
Yeah, 100%. And brain surgery was never spoken about once. Not once was brain surgery mentioned. Like, it was like, we need to get rid of this pressure, and that's what we're doing. So I was put on tablets straight away, but yeah, just it's too far gone. It just didn't work. But for my when I had the lumbar punctures, for my spinal fluid to raise so much so quickly in a week, I was going downhill real quick. So yeah, I was pretty sick.
And do they
tell the tale.
Yeah. How many lumbar punctures did you have?
4 or 5, definitely 4.
And there's no, like, is there numbing or anything in that, no?
Yeah, so they numb your spine and then they put a needle, like it's like long.
Mum would love this story.
I know. No one's passing. Yeah, so they put a needle straight into your spine. And then, so sometimes, so I agreed. So they had, it's very much a learning hospital. A lot of students there. And I was always letting the students like do their thing, even though I shit myself. But yeah, so I had a lot of students do it, so they missed. So sometimes I had to have 2, which was shit house. But they put a bit of numbing cream in, but really wasn't ideal. And I was fat at the time, so when I had to curl up into a ball so that my spine was, like, my back was tight, I was so uncomfortable and I'd choke myself.
Fuck. So after all of that, that's when you decided you need to lose weight.
Yeah, well, fuck. So after that, so I ate myself to, I don't know, huge, huger. I don't know. I remember clearly eating blocks of chocolate like I did not give 2 shits. I was like, this is, and like, I'm not talking like a little piece. I'm talking like a fucking block. And yeah, so I had the surgery and I felt normal and I started walking and whatever. And then I was like, woke up one day and I was like, you're going to tear through your skin. Do something about this. Like, fuck, you cannot keep going like this. And then, yeah, that's when I literally spoke to you the next day and then changed my life.
And then what happened after that? Like, so you started like just eating real food, and then when did exercise come in, and then like how did you transition to becoming a PT?
Oh yeah, okay. Kind of fell into it, but so
can you see Justin's there now? We had Macca's and 7-Eleven.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking so fat. Doritos, everything. We had everything. We didn't care. He's never living with me again.
Yeah. Hey, for the Irish people watching, you said Coles. What's Coles? Earlier, you said you went into Coles.
Is like Tesco.
Okay, cool.
Tesco's probably more fun. Tesco's got way more in it than Coles.
Okay, cool.
So I contacted you, and then I started eating real food, and I weighed myself easy 6 times a day, but every single day the scales would move. So to be 200 grams, 100 grams, 500 grams, and I was very overweight. So when it was 200 grams, I was like, is this a fucking joke? It should be like a kilo. But anyway, obviously I didn't know then what I know now. And so I just kept eating well. All I did was focus on the food I was eating. I didn't worry about calories, didn't count a thing. Didn't do anything other than walk and watch my food. So anyway, I did that for a period of time while I was recovering. And then I started to got back into, oh no, I wasn't allowed to play basketball because I wasn't allowed to risk a hit in the head. So then
well, you left a mark on me when we played basketball, so you know it could be that.
And then when did I start with Next Gen? I started in Next Gen in May of the following year. So that was 2013, May of 2013. And I started at Next Gen, and I didn't know how exercise would affect it until this point. I actually didn't think it would. So I had no idea about the effect exercise was going to have on me until May 2013. And then I joined Next Gen. They were training behind my house at a school, and I didn't know Ebony at the time. And Anthony's like, oh, just go up and introduce yourself. I'm like, you fucking joking? No, how embarrassing. Oh, hi, I'm Susan. I just want to train with you. No. Anyway, which people can do that to me now, and I'd be fine. But so through 6 degrees of separation, someone I know knew Ebony, gave me her details, and then it's all gone from there. But I started doing HIIT training with them. So I just did group fitness, and just slowly the weight just started dropping off. And the more exercise I did, obviously it accelerates the process. So the more weight that I would lose. But it took me 2.5 years to lose the 45 kilos. So that I competed in a bodybuilding competition, and that day was when I got to my lowest. So yeah, I lost 45 kilos. So yeah, I obviously can't stay at that low a body fat. Don't want to either with the sport that I'm doing now. But no part of me wants to be in any single solitary way overweight. But I did learn very quickly that for me, I had to cut everything out. I'll just have 2 bits of chocolate and that'll be satisfying for me. So I'm all or nothing, 0 to 100, black and white, no gray area. So chocolate is gone for me. I just can't have it if chocolate's in the house, or if the kids ask me to buy the Nutella. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. If I go to put the spoon in the Nutella, so even to this day, that Nutella goes straight in the bin outside, because I don't want to do that to myself. I have no anything to want to go backwards, and I know that how important more nutritious food is over less nutritious, even though you love those fucking lolly things.
Jellies. Of course I do. But
are they called pick and mix or something? What are
pick and mix, yeah. Pick and mix. But it's the same for me. If I have pick and mix in the house, I'll just eat it all. I can't have it here.
Yeah.
I think certain foods just trigger certain people.
Yeah. So I can't have chocolate. Anything else I'm fine with. Savoury stuff, don't really care for. But if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. But now I count every single thing I eat.
So you said you competed in bodybuilding. Had you changed jobs? Had you stopped being a nurse and become a PT at that stage, or no? Was that after that?
I think I was a PT then. Yes. So before I started to lose weight, so it's like, aside from all of this, I was nursing at the time, and I wanted to study something in nursing, and I always wanted to do pediatric nursing, but having the kids and stuff, I was like, nah, I am not going back to that. So that was a no, and it's still a no, even though I would have loved it, but I would not go back to school. Anyway, and then I was like, I'll just study to be a PT. That's still in the health industry, and I love the health industry. I'm like, that's still in the health industry. I'll just do that. So I applied and did my Cert 3 online and hated it, because it took me 12 months to do one course. And the course, like, I'd already done the anatomy and physiology, so I knew the human body and all that, still took me forever. So I was like, fuck this. So when I did my Cert 4, I went on campus, which is close to home, but I just thought with kids it'd be too hard to go. Absolutely not. Online with kids is hell. It was not fun. So I just made the time to go to school and be on campus and learn. And I did that, had great teachers for my Cert 4. Mel was great. And yeah, I became a PT. And then I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, to be honest. I hadn't really planned on using it. I was just wanted to study something. And then I was asked to run boot camp sessions out of a childcare centre just near us here. And I was obviously blown away with that. That was very nice of Joe. So I did that for 12 months, and I still trained at Next Gen, still did challenges, still losing weight at this point. And then I started working at Next Gen. And it was about 4 or 6 months before I started working there, I believe, that I competed in my first bodybuilding comp. Yeah. So
Cool.
maybe
What a journey.
I can't remember. But anyway, and then, yeah, Ev asked me to work for her, and then, yeah, I'm still there. Ooh.
And what does a typical day look like for you before all the shit kicked off? Like when you were working, kids are in school, like that. Yeah.
Do you mean like my normal day prior to this whole isolation stuff, or before? So my normal day, I get up at 3:50. I was getting up at 3:50 at 4 days a week. So, okay, let's go to the end of last year. I would get up at 3:50 4 days a week, and I would go and see clients, and then I would race either home here or to Anthony's to pick the kids up, or he would drop the kids back off here. I would get the kids showered, breakfast, ready for school. We would fly out the door to school. It was not a calm time. We'd go to school, and then I'd go straight back to work, and I would work until about, I'm not sure, mid-morning, late morning, and then do my training, and then come home and have a couple of hours to myself, and then either I'd go and do school pickup, from there to gymnastics, from there to Siobhan's, or drop her home, from there back to work, and I would work till late and then come home. So yeah, my days are pretty chockers. My normal day is to the minute. Like, I literally run to the minute, but I mean, I wouldn't change it. I'm just used to, like, time management's my thing. So I'm used to being, and I just make sure everything fits. Like, I realize everyone's busy, and I realize there's people probably busier than me, but time is time. Everyone's got the same amount of time, and I don't believe things can't fit. I just believe people put watching TV as a priority over something that I would put as a priority. Like, I don't get to watch TV, and I don't actually care about watching TV. It doesn't actually bother me, but there is no such thing, Lisa, as work-life balance. It's just you fit in what you fit in. But
Justin says, how many hours sleep in a day like that?
I'm probably not the greatest for sleep, but maximum I'd get 6 hours. But if I do a late early, it's 4.5, 5 hours. Yeah. So
no wonder you need 2 months.
My 8 hours sleep, but hey.
No wonder you need 2 monsters.
Yeah. Oh, only since I've been over there. I didn't do it that whole time.
Yeah.
But I just, the way my life is with the kids, I don't have to put them in before school care. I don't have to put them in after school care. They get to do every single activity that they do. Like, there's gymnastics, swimming, there was performing arts. So heaps of stuff that they do. They box, they do CrossFit. So I would rather go on less sleep and everything fit into my 24-hour period, including sleep, than cut back on anything. And I don't want to not let my kids do anything either. Like, for as long as I can afford it, they can do whatever they want. Hoping that at some point they'll be like, oh, you know, Mum, I don't really want to do that anymore. And I'll be like, sweet. But yeah.
Cool. And are you still doing stuff for clients at the minute? Like,
yes.
Do you send them stuff online to do at home or stuff like that?
Yes. So Next Gen's running a virtual vibes, and I've got my PT clients in a group and keeping them accountable. And we can still do one-on-one PTs, and we can do two-on-one PTs. So we just can't do group stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, you'll see them. Yeah.
Oh, so you're not as badly locked down as we are?
No. So we're just in self-isolation at the moment. So Thank fuck for that. So lockdown. So far we've avoided it, but it hasn't been here as long as it's been with you guys either. So we're a few weeks behind, I believe.
Okay.
Going to hit us the worst in about 3 weeks' time. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah. Mid-April.
Cool. Yvonne says that you're a superman. She's a doctor, so she understands like the long hours stuff. Lisa says, what do you do for fun? But we know you do TikTok for fun, so.
Yeah, Lisa, haven't you seen them? What do I do for fun? Well, I do love to train, and right now my priority isn't really me. My priority is my kids and fitting all their stuff in, but I'll still see friends. I don't miss going out to dinner. I still go out to dinners, lunches, catch up with people. I just, on those days, then I just don't have a gap. So then I just go back to back flat stick. But I still see everyone, and I don't feel like I miss out on anything. And I play basketball twice a week.
Do you find that all the, like the brain surgeries, the weight loss, all that stuff, do you use that if your clients are giving you excuses, or do you use it to motivate your clients and say, hey, well, look, I did all this? Or
oh, no. I rarely, because like the brain surgery and being sick for that whole time, like that was massive for me, but I don't for a second, like never, ever, ever have I thought, if someone comes to me and tells me that they're going through something, I would never think, oh, for fuck's sake, it could be a hell of a lot worse. Like, just cool your jets, you'll be fine.
yeah.
I never want anyone to experience what I have experienced and what I experience on a daily basis. Like, even now, I am reminded every single day of my life of my brain surgery. I have to sit like this to talk to you for this length of time because I can't have my head turned the other way. So, like for that length of time. So it has to be full straight. I can't, if I'm in a lecture, I can't sit on an angle. I have to sit a certain way, because to hold my head in a position for a long time, it's pretty hard. But yeah, I'm reminded of it every day. I wouldn't want anyone to ever experience it, but everyone's bad is bad for them. So, oh no, I never say anything. No.
And does it affect you, like if you're like in workouts, if like Chris is putting you through like some ridiculously nasty workout, does it help you to like motivate yourself? Like if you're struggling, like, oh, this is nothing, like I've been through way worse than this. Do you use it for yourself? Like things could be worse. I'm looking for you.
Yeah, it's harder in training. Like I have coaches because when it's bad and when it goes downhill, like I go downhill real quick. So my face changes, I feel like my eyes change. Like all I have to think about is get through this rep. I'm like, get through this rep. You fucking can't stop. So when it's been the worst, I guess, when Chris has been training me and I'm just like, I feel really shit. Just get me through this session. Just make sure I get to the end. So then either I have to pull out, which hasn't happened for a while, or I'm just like, please get me to the end of the session. And most of the time I can get there, but I can't speak. Like I can't think of doing anything else. I can't think of anything. No rep. I can't count my reps or anything. I'm just like, stay in this, stay in this, stay in this. Yeah.
Cool.
So I can't use it for my own motivation. I'm just like, don't fucking stop.
And now you're powerlifting as well, right? That's your sport now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Which
and
cool.
What's the plan there? Well, probably not a whole lot at the moment, but what was the plan before?
I'm lucky enough that my training hasn't changed a huge amount yet, so that's good. But yeah, it depends. Like there's no one exercise or one activity that affects my head when I'm training. Like I'd love to be like, oh, back squats. I can't put a barbell on my back because it's shit every time I do back squats, but I'll turn up to training and I'll be able to squat. Like Monday I was fine. Squatted 100 kilos for 5 sets of 5 and I was sweet. But then I could do the same thing next week and not be okay. Like 2 weeks ago when I did my squats, I was not okay. So it just depends. Like I wish every single day that there was one exercise that would affect me consistently, but I actually never know. I go into every training session. I don't think, oh shit, what's going to affect me today? Because sometimes nothing affects me. So I don't actually go into my training sessions like that. But some days, like I'll be able to deadlift, and some days I'll be like, fuck, I can't get this off the ground. Like my head is killing me. So
you just have to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sarah says you are as amazing as you are. Do you know her? No.
You are. She's one of my clients. We have conversations all the time. Thanks, Sarah.
Cool. Okay, we're just coming up to time. I can't believe we did that in under an hour. Thank you very much for doing that and sharing your story.
You're more than welcome. You are welcome.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
I will send you some fulfill bars. Don't worry.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
What an amazing story that was. Phenomenal. Just everything Susan's been through, and she's one of the most positive people ever. So it's